wanna feature me, cause they know I'm on the rise. Get the attention, I'm on a mission. Cause ever since I flipped that switch, my power can't be denied. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. Pay attention, I'm on a mission. Man with a vision. Got a passion, making it happen. Ready for action. And this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. This is my world now. Hey! Here we go! We coming ready or not, you better steady yourself, because we're racing somehow. There's nothing keeping this roof from blowing off. We're taking over the town, hit the switch and shut it down. Like New York, we're electric, never stop. We coming ready or not, we coming ready or not. We're giving all that we got, we're giving all that we got. We coming ready or not. We're throwing gas on the fire, the
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and the band is back together after almost a 2-month hiatus. Well, we still done things, fun series on Wednesday night with the, of course, GT3 series and the next-gen cars and whatnot. But anyhow, we are ready to roll with the resumption of the championship battle and round number 12 tonight at the virtual Michigan Speedway, qualifying on track right now, as we welcome you to coverage of the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. These are kind of, they are Xfinity cars, and we are ready to roll, watching Chris Kynes make laps around the racetrack. We welcome you to coverage on LSRTV, your home for sim racing. If you're watching, if you're listening, we are on the Community Radio Network, 87.9 FM, anywhere at wearecrn.com worldwide. I'm Wesley Outland. Jason Rockefeller, as always, my partner in crime alongside from up in New Jersey. Jason, it's good to see these cars again, and man, what a plethora of cars here for this race at Michigan tonight, bud.
May 24th, 2023 was the last time we saw these B cars on track, and boy, oh boy, it is refreshing. It is nice to see these things back on the racetrack, so I am definitely looking forward to seeing everybody back on this racetrack, looking to see who's going to be the next best thing out here tonight. Remember, these guys haven't stepped foot with one another all together since May 24th, obviously back at Gateway. So this is going to be very, very refreshing, but also a similar taste here tonight.
Yeah, it's been a while since the drivers of the CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series have been on track, and right now we're watching Jeff Stabnow work his LSRTV 4K Ford Mustang around the speedway, the number 24 on the clock. 2-mile oval here, 2-mile tri-oval here at the Michigan International Speedway. As we watch qualifying take place right now, Devin West top of the board, Joshua Marcy, Paul Newton, Dan Lowther, Sean Ottenbacher, currently right now your unofficial top 5 here in qualifying. But Jason, you think of Michigan, you think of those lines around the racetrack from the top to the bottom, and you think of the word precision banking. And that just means that there's multiple grooves available. The question is, what is the best groove tonight, and who will take advantage of it here?
Definitely the bottom here, Wesley. This track is known with these Xfinity Series cars to eat up that right front tire here, so you're going to have to be careful. Obviously, a 2-mile D-shaped oval kind of has the characteristics of 1.5 miles at what you would, or what you will. But with that being said, obviously the speeds are a lot higher here. The cars are a lot looser. There's less grip. So it's going to be interesting to see, obviously, heading through 1 all the way to turn 2 and then the 3 and 4. You only got 18 degrees of banking to deal with. So, it's very wide, but that bottom of the racetrack is going to be the lane to be. You're going to see which of these drivers can hold the bottom lane probably the best here tonight. And sure enough, it's going to be a great show, no doubt about it.
Yeah, going to be a really good one. And, of course, we watch now Dan West Jr. got some different colors on his machine. Of course, Dan West Jr. Well, it says he's in the 18. That's actually Roy Grande right there that we're watching around the racetrack. But Dan West Jr. just went to the top of the board, 39.072. But this is Roy Grande Jr. on the speedway. We're watching the 18. Aerokinetics Esports team, Chevrolet. And I don't know why it's showing Dan West Jr., but obviously, again, Dan West Jr. is the fast man, and we can see he put down a quick lap. But obviously, Jason, Roy Grande's got to go back to the drawing board or try to find some speed here before the race starts.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt about it. And here's the 5 of Devin West, the guy who won last time we raced here for the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Series back at Gateway. Very, very strong. So he's looking to try to make it basically 2 in a row. And could you imagine you could say 2 in a row? That being said, if he were to win tonight, it would be 2 in a row from May all the way here to early September. So that would be something interesting to definitely say. But definitely one of the guys we're going to want to look out for. Both him and his dad put on one heck of a show for the Gen 4 Fun Series just a few weeks ago for us here at Legacy, Michigan, or it was maybe regular Michigan, but either way, still Michigan, no doubt about it. That was a fun race to call. Sure enough, these two are going to be ones to watch tonight.
And by the way, don't forget, too, that this is the final 4 races of the regular seasons. Round 12, 13, 14, and 15 are these final 4 races to make it into the playoffs to be one of the round of 12 drivers. Michigan this week, Atlanta, Old Atlanta next week, New Hampshire in 2 weeks, and Talladega, the wild card. Let's check in for some more news and notes as the return to the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Series is on at Michigan. Let's check in with producer and Mr. Charles. Charles, we're back.
Yeah, I just got a hold of Jeff Stabnow, and come to find out, Trading Paints was hacked today. So, yeah, we're going to try to get these paints correct. But, yeah, they're all over the place.
Looks like Ryan Bloom is actually the car that is on track up top, the 25, even though it is showing Carl Burke as the name. So that's Ryan Bloom's machine for Win Racing, the CLICKIT RV Chevrolet. And I'll tell you what, Jason, that is a driver that has really improved in months of late, man, to be a threat for not just this program, but obviously he's already put himself in the playoffs for the Truck Series.
Yeah, no doubt about it here. And this is the thing, it's getting to crunch time. You're going to have to worry about points and whatnot coming into tonight. Remember, only 12 drivers make the playoffs here. And right now, Seth Frazier's got that final playoff spot by just 1 point over Dan West Jr. and 2 over Joshua Marcy. So those two, or all 3 drivers, I should say, are going to be in some sort of a point battle here once we do, in fact, get going tonight. And then for the next few races, So we're going to have to keep an eye on these points here these next few weeks before the playoffs start.
Yeah, remember these last 4 weeks is going to determine who makes it into the round of 12. That fires up again on October the 4th at Indianapolis in round 1 for the CLICKIT RV Northwest Fix Setup Series. Again, Ryan Bloom on track. Let's see what the 25 can do, as right now he has moved to second behind Dan West Jr. 39.072, 39.092 for Ryan Bloom. And we'll see here if he gets any quicker. 39.405. Last lap. Gonna have to really pick up speed here for sure. So hopefully, even though there was a hacking on trading paints with the wraps, hopefully timing and scoring is working correctly. Dan West Jr., Ryan Bloom, Devin West, Kevin Smith, Joshua Marcy, still the top 5. And a countdown clock, Jason, rolling in the finish here for drivers putting down a lap here on the clock at Michigan.
Yeah, so interesting info we just got. So what we're actually watching, so for the viewers here tonight, whenever you see, like for example, you're looking at the number 99 machine right here. This is actually BJ Tidrick. Usually that 99 machine is Troy Daggett, but due to the trading paint hack earlier today, everybody is kind of mixed up in different paint schemes. So the driver tab is the correct driver you're looking at right now, that being PJ Tidrick trying to post a qualifying lap time, not actually the 99 of Troy Daggett.
Oh, wow. Charles, can you elaborate more on this? Because, hell, I'm getting confused myself already.
So, and I think, Jason will get a kick out of this. Remember at Christmas time when you get the Skittles that were mystery flavors? Sometimes you get rotten fish, sometimes you get, licorice. Well, that's kind of how the car paints are tonight. You never know what you're going to get.
Ugh. Now, let me ask you a question before we grid the cars for the lineup. Is SDK timing and scoring correct when we actually run the feature? All data is correct. So the cars might not be right, but the data will be. All right, let's go racing. Here at Michigan, we'll make the best of it. Welcome back. It's been a while. Dan West Jr. is on the pole. Fast qualifier to the outside. Ryan Bloom in the 25, row number 1. Row 2, Devin West, son to Dan, will start third. And Kevin Smith from Walla Walla, Washington, the 00 fourth. Row 3, Joshua Marcy in that 35 machine. He's happy for volunteer football season to be back in swing. And his outside, Paul Newton, the road course king in 27. Row 4, Dan Lowther in the 63, and a former series champion, Billings, Montana, Jeff Stabnow in 24. He'll fire out 8. Row 5, top 10, the legend that is Frank Harris, and Troy Daggett, Jason, the 99. He'll be 10th.
Yeah, then you got row 6. You have John Ottenbacher and Stefan O'Hare. James Vining and Roy Grande Jr. will start in row number 7. Row 8, you have Brett Johnson, Chris White there. Then you have the next row, row number 9. There he is, Clifford, Toby Ritters, and Chris Kynes in the number 20 machine. And rounding out row number 10, your top 20, Sean Brightsman, Carl Burke.
Good field of cars here. Row 11, Tyler King in the 21. And to the outside, B.J. Tidrick in the 72. Row 12, Ray Fournier. Good to see the legend back also, the man in the 26. And Scott Hutchinson returns in the 91. Row 13, Tyler Kim in the 38. And Ron Hunter in that number 30 machine. Row 14, Chad Malik in the 08. Russ Lundberg in the 129. There's your lineup, 28 cars ready to go here tonight. And I'm understanding possibly Chad Malik and Russ Lundberg are a scratch of the race. Or no. Is it Scott Hutchinson and Russ Lundberg are scratches from the race, possibly? There we go. Chad Malik just rolled off pit road. So Lundberg and Hutchinson, I believe, have decided to bow out of the race. But Jason, still a good start of cars, 26 strong, ready to go at Michigan.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun race for sure. It just would be a lot better if we could see the correct paint schemes right now. Ryan Bloom is the only one who looks to have that right paint scheme right now. There's actually a couple guys, I believe, who have their right paint schemes, but right there, that 35 machine on your screen, that is Joshua Marcy's scheme. That's actually Dan West Jr. here, who's looking to have a good night. So this is going to get very confusing for us up here on the booth. We're going to try our best, though, here to try to identify these cars and let y'all know what's going on.
So here's the deal. Timing and scoring is correct. The scoring ticker on the pylon will be right. Our raw timing and scoring will be correct, but it does not match the, if you will, wrap jobs. And they're flashing white and gray primer color. They might magically fit perfectly and work again. We'll find out right now. Dan West Jr., Ryan Bloom on the front row. The return of the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series at Virtual Michigan iRacing. And you have an event. You have a race into turn one. Give it to Dan West Jr. He'll lead him on the whole shot on the bottom into two.
And with Dan West Jr. going to the bottom, you see Ryan Bloom up top right now trying to defend from Devin West. They're side by side down the back straightaway now, heading into turn three. And it looks like Ryan Bloom, though, is going to make quick work of Devin West. He'll clear him, though, heading down to 3 and 4.
Working their way into turn number 3 and out of 4. Bottom of the racetrack, as Jason mentioned. Everybody will be wanting to hug the bottom of the track, but right now they all stay on the top. Give lap 1 to Dan West Jr. Ryan Bloom in tow. Devin West, his son, right now the top 3. They work their way back into turn number 1, single file.
Back into turns 1 and 2 they go. Devin West trying to put the pressure onto Ryan Bloom early on, but also Kevin Smith trying to work his way up into that podium top 3 position. Got a 3rd place finish at Gateway just a handful of months ago. He's trying to go after a victory that he has been chasing for a long time here this season.
By the way, everything going crazy chaotic with trading paints and more with our event. Real quickly, let's give you the Kaufman Creative weather conditions on the bottom right of the monitor at just the start of this race now, working lap number 2. Bottom right, there it is, air temp 74, track temp about 10 degrees warmer, mostly cloudy conditions at a wind speed 3 miles an hour. We'll see what it does with these machines right now. Calm, cool, collective, or not. Getting chaotic now as there goes these drivers battling for this position behind the machine of Devin West and Smith and Marcy and all this going on into 4.
And back down into turns 3 and 4. Now down the front straightaway, everybody's kind of starting to snake just a little bit, kind of trying to work whatever way they can this time of the line. Everybody gets through. Lap 4 now up on the board. You're looking at the number 89 of John Ottenbacher just in front of Stephen O'Hare. So he's trying to make a run now at Troy Daggett in the number 99. Frank Harris looks down to the inside of Dan Lowther down the back straightaway.
We're hoping that this is correct. Charles, a time or two, maybe if you want to put the little battle of the position on the bottom of the screen, that might help us, and also pinpointing the location of where the battle is on timing and scoring as well, as that is, again, John Ottenbacher. A correct wrap job for him in the 89 machine right now at 11. Daggett in front, battle for the lead going on. Here comes Ryan Bloom. He'll bonsai by Dan West Jr., and he'll take the lead, but a cavalry behind him at a 2.
Down the back straightaway they go. Everybody's trying to get single file. Ryan Bloom able to take the lead away from Dan West Jr., who, remember, just 1 point behind Seth Frazier behind that cutoff line. So he's trying his best to maintain a good finish here tonight. Oh, Kevin Smith loose out of turn number 4. Nearly made contact with Dan West Jr. DWJ. Able to hang on to it. So is Kevin Smith. They work their way into 1 with here comes Josh Marcy to the inside of that being Devin West heading into turn 2.
Yeah, Devin West now falling back in the clutches of the top 5 while all this is going on. We just saw that great save by Kevin Smith a moment ago. Marcy behind them. Devin West, Jeff Sabb now all on the climb as they work their way back in the corner into 3.
Off turns 3 and 4 this time, you see that 27 machine of Paul Newton, believe that's Jeff Stabnow, actually. See, this is what I'm talking about. We got Jeff Stabnow. There he is. There's Jeff Stabnow, our very own from LSRTV. He's trying to work around Devin West currently, that being the Band-Aid car, also driven by Michael Waltrip years ago, known as the 21 of Tyler King's paint scheme on a regular basis. But Jeff Stabnow doing a great job holding on to it, noticing that Devin West starting to get a little loose there in that number 5, just ahead of him.
Here's the deal. Everybody's car, in one way, shape, or form, is on the racetrack. They just play musical chairs, if you will, musical driver's seats, and the numbers don't match who the drivers are. Like, for instance, Paul Newton in the 27 is in the 91 car. That's Scott Hutchinson's champion spark plug ride. Jeff Stabnow is in Paul Newton's. Paul Newton designs 27 instead of the traditional 24. Not of our doing. Obviously, I know it's a mind game for our viewing audience, but Jason and ourselves will do the best to at least let you know who they are. Who are you by the who? Definitely being used tonight here at Michigan, Jason, as we're working lap 8.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a challenge for us, but hey, man, we're broadcasters. We do it. We just go with it. That's kind of what you have to do. Things, unfortunately, sometimes don't go to plan, but that's what we do. You look at Chris White. Oh, he slides up the track, almost gets into Troy Daggett. A whole gaggle of traffic working off turns 3 and 4. You see Stephen O'Hare's actual 41 machine trailing right behind Chris White. They're nose to nose, tail to tail, as they head their way into 3 and 4. Big gaggle of cars here.
You got Christopher White driving the Ron Hunter car. One Fine Studios number 30. Behind him, Troy Daggett, normally in the 99. He's in the 41 of Stephen O'Hare. And you see him blinking. The primer colors pop in, they pop out. Somebody had nothing to do with their life, and they hacked in trading paints. And that's why it's making it a nightmare for us to call this race right now. 10 laps in, 90 to go. We're making the best of it. Thank you, Charles, for putting the graphics in the bar down on the bottom to let you know who it is. And Stephen O'Hare powers his way around Daggett. Look at Paul Newton trying to get around Ryan Bloom. And Stephen O'Hare's car is correct. We've just been informed that Stephen O'Hare is in the right 41 car. And then we've got an imposter of Devin, of the other guy in the 41 car.
Now here's my question. What if these two go for the win? What are we going to do?
I don't know. A, B. Thing 1 and thing 2.
There's 3. I wonder if there's 3 of the same car out there. Could you imagine if there were 3 or 4 of the same cars?
That'd be like a dirt track race, man. That'd be everybody's nightmare, won't it?
We might as well pack it up and just leave Michigan.
3's a crowd. 2's company. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you, everybody in the audience. We're making the best of it. What can we say? As right now, we're watching Devin West in the imposter Stephen O'Hare car, trying to make a move on Paul Newton. Also right there alongside with Kevin Smith in the 91 down the back straightaway, Jason.
Great run here for Devin West, trying to reclaim what is rightfully his from the last win at Gateway back on May 24th. Working inside the top 3. Him and his father both hold the 1 and the 3 spot, that being 1st and 3rd. But Josh Marcy right there, right behind him, being very, okay, this is kind of funny. This has got to be something we got to mention. The 55 of Dan West Jr. is first. Oh, here comes Kevin Smith. Oh, no, hopefully something not of a miss. I'll touch back on that point later. But Kevin Smith is coming into the pits. This is very, very early. Gonna look at the LSRTV replay here. Gonna check it out.
Gotta wonder if something happened to him. Kevin Smith, usually in the 00 car. We're trying to find out what happened to Kevin Smith in that red and white machine. And oh my. This might be a scheduled pit stop.
I don't know. I really don't know, Wesley. I just don't think we have enough information right now to see if it's a scheduled stop. He's back on track. There he is right there. He's back on track. I wonder if maybe something happened possibly with his sim rig, had to make an adjustment. Maybe we'll try to see if we can find out some more information as it goes on. But he blends back in right in front of that Devin West imposter. There is Dan West right there. And this is the funny part. This is what I was going to say. Josh Marcy just took the lead. He's driving Dan West Jr.'s scheme. And Dan West Jr. is driving Joshua Marcy's scheme right now. So it's kind of flip-flopped. Kind of funny right now.
I will tell you this much. In my entire iRacing broadcast career, which is in 2 tenures, I have never, ever called an iRacing broadcast where the numbers are cattywampus. And the names are cattywampus as well. So, yeah. Anyhow, Dan West Jr. is not in that 55 up ahead. He is in, actually, the car number, I think it's the 35. Up the racetrack, driven by Joshua Marcy. Here comes Paul Newton. No, that's not Dan West Jr. And by the way, Joshua Marcy is in Dan West Jr.'s car.
This is just absolutely
you
chaos.
You can't make this up.
I feel like I'm in a Christopher Nolan movie right now. There's got to be more. There's got to be something deeper into this right now. Maybe I need to go watch Oppenheimer again, and somehow I'll figure it all out at the end of it, and I'll feel like a genius, and I can make the next Manhattan Project. But hey, what are you going to do? Unfortunately, technology happens, people happen. It is what it is. We're trying the best we can. Here's Jeff Stab now trying to make a move to the inside of Dan West Jr. into turns 3 and 4. Devin trailing right behind him. And then there's Paul Newton there right behind those two. He's working that top groove, trying to get back to the middle. He's trying to have a run here down the front straightaway.
I'm going to let the powers that be know that we want to raise after tonight. At least for tonight's race, we're going to be mind-boggled by the time we get done calling which car is one car, wrong car. Right now, watching this now, Newton up the racetrack. Stephen O'Hare on the bottom. That is the right car, by the way. And Devin West, no, it's not. Devin West is right there. Stephen O'Hare is in his own car. Yeah, that's the 4. There's the W41, if you will.
Yep. There's the 41W. That's what they do at the local short tracks, dirt tracks around the country. You got guys driving the 41. You got guys driving the 41A, 41C, 41J, 41X. Doesn't matter. Somehow, some way, there ends up being a whole multitude of numbers that are the same out there. But it is what it is. So I guess we kind of got that real short track feel here on this Wednesday evening here, approaching an early Thursday morning for us here on the East Coast. But hey, is what it is. There's a guy who's got the right pace here. Oh, no, there's 2 of them. What in the heck? Oh, my goodness. That's Ryan Bloom. He's battling currently with, I'm trying to look. He's battling with
Ryan
Carl
Bloom.
Burke. They're side by side.
Carl Burke. Ryan Bloom and Carl Burke right there in team lookalike cars. They're not teammates. Tonight they are. Look at this. Pick a car, any car. Ryan Bloom way back though, Jason, in 23rd position, man. That's struggling for that car.
Yeah, definitely. And this is one of the guys who's just super strong. I mean, he's been strong all season long. Coming into tonight, 7th in the points, obviously. No wins, though, surprisingly, for the driver of the 25 machine this season. But he does have 4 poles, 4 top 5s, 6 top 10s. So not a bad record, but pretty solid for Mr. Ryan Bloom. So he's trying to look and see if he can improve his position. Here's a nice little battle we got going. That's between Sean Breitzman, Roy Grande Jr., Tyler King, as they work their way down into 1 and 2.
Yeah, another lap on the board here, by the way. 1/5 of the way when they come back to the line. And watching all of this transpire down the backstretch. Sean Breitzman, I think, is in the Lundberg car.
He's in the 89, I believe. Yeah, he's in the 89.
He's in the 89 of Annenbacher.
There he is.
Oh, man, I feel like I'm in a dirt track.
I feel like I'm watching Formula 1 right now. You know how every car, like with Oracle, Red Bull, and Ferrari, they all run the same dang paint schemes. That's what I feel like this is right now. I can't tell which one is which Red Bull car, basically. That's how I feel currently.
Thank goodness for transponders. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, by the way, Toby Ritter's in 10th. Let's see what car Toby Ritter's is driving tonight. There he is.
Oh, he's got Kevin Smith.
He's driving the boss's car. He is driving the boss's car for Win Racing, Kevin Smith. Wow.
What a ride here for Toby Ritter's. But hey, on a serious note, though, we look at Toby Ritter's running 10th, and one of the big questions I had on my note sheet coming into tonight was, would we see the drivers who had more seat time during the off weeks do well? We've seen, obviously, the RGL GT3 series, that was put on. We've seen the Gen 4 Fun series. These guys obviously have probably done some seat time, both in official and other leagues, or maybe other private sessions and testing and qualifying and etc. and whatnot during the off weeks from May 24th all the way to today on September 6th. So with that being said, there's guys who are up here, up inside this top 15, top 10, who I'm noticing are having great runs. Toby Ritter's being one of them. Talked about it during the Gen 4 Fun series, how he was just continuously over and over again improving race after race, even with the GT3 cars. And here he is right now, battling with, I believe that's Tyler King. So he's doing a really good job at just maintaining his own, improving his race every single week. And Brett Johnson as well, running P8. He's up there as well. Only ran a couple of races for that Gen 4 Fun series. He's running in P8 right now.
Tyler King is driving the Catman's car tonight, the 333. All right, listen, this is what we're going to do. It is time to take you for a special quarter distance through the field, okay? If something happens, we'll break through, but let's go through the field because it's just going to be fun to know who is which. Get your pen and paper out and take notes if you need to know which car is which one. The leader is Dan West Jr., okay? He is driving the 35, normally driven by Joshua Marcy, and the man out of Shelton, Washington, is leading the way. In second is Joshua Marcy, and this is not Deja Vu or the Twilight Zone, Jason. He is driving the car of the man that is leading up in front of him. In third, Jeff Stabnow is driving Paul Newton's car. He normally is in the 24. He's third. In fourth, Devin West in a Stephen O'Hare throwback 41. He's in fifth. Paul Newton is in sixth. Wherever Paul Newton is, there he is. And he is driving the Scott Hutchinson Champion Spark Plug throwback. In seventh, Christopher White. He is driving Stephen O'Hare's car. In eighth.
Or that's Stephen O'Hare is driving Stephen O'Hare's car.
Oh, okay, finally. That's one. Okay, yeah, exactly right. I'm sorry.
That's one.
Stephen O'Hare is Stephen O'Hare. Stephen O'Hare is Stephen O'Hare. Seventh is Christopher White. He's driving Ron Hunter's car. Eighth, Brett Johnson. He is driving Ray Fournier's car. Ninth is Frank Harris driving Devin West's car. And 10th, Jason, is Sean Breitzman. And Sean Breitzman is driving Audenbacher's car, it looks like.
And then you have your top 20 right there. 11th, Tyler King driving the 333 machine. That's the Catman James Viney's paint scheme usually. 12th, you have Toby Ritter's. He's driving the boss man Kevin Smith's car there, that 00 machine. Maybe he'll have some Kevin Smith speed internet here later on. Sorry, Kevin, we love you. I had to. Chad Malik driving the 53 machine. That's usually Carl Burke. And then you have the 72 of BJ Tidrick at 14th. He is driving, I want to say that's Troy Daggett. Yep, Troy Daggett's car. 15th, you have James Vining. He's driving Tyler King's car. 16th, you have Roy Grande Jr. He's driving, that is Russ Lundberg's car in the 129. 17th, Ron Hunter driving Chris White's 47 machine. That's a sharp-looking car, besides the blue rims. 19th, you have Troy Daggett. Or no, 18th, John Onbach. There you go. There's two. So we got two up there.
Two cars.
Just put that on my phone. 19th, Troy Daggett. He's driving the 38, but it looks like it's got a number that's sim stamped.
That is
on
Kim's
there.
car.
I want to say,
Yeah, that's Kim's
Tyler
car.
Kim's car. And then 20th, you have Chris Kynes in the number 20, and he is in Chad Malick's car in the 08, and that is your top 20. Only one driver I had in my lineup.
All right, now 2 drivers have cars that match one another. Okay, right now 21st, keep up Tyler Kim. And there he is in the, actually, Roy Grande car. 21st. 22nd is Ray Fournier. He is in Jeff Stabnow's car, the imposter there. 23rd is Kevin Smith driving a, looks like, testing car for Daytona before Speed Weeks, red and white. 24th is Ryan Bloom. And hey, 3 out of 3 are with the right car number. Ryan Bloom is 24th. Dan Lowther driving BJ Tidrix in an Outburger. 72 is 20, of course, 25th, sorry. 26th is Carl Burke driving another imposter Ryan Bloom car. And Carl Burke, and that's it. That's all of them, I think. There you go.
Yep.
All right. You're through the
3
field
cars.
on lap number 30.
3 cars are the only ones who have guys running the right paint schemes. And here we go. Here's Toby. That's Toby Ritters. He worked almost to the outside 3 wide, trying to get around. That being Frank Harris in the number 11. Frank having a great run tonight. Another driver talked about earlier on with the Gen 4 Fun Series. He's doing a great job. Had a lot of seat time like Toby Ritters, like Brett Johnson during the offseason. Looks like they've improved their craft here just 31 laps into this event. So they're doing a great job. You see BJ Tidrick. He's working that outside. I tell you what, Wesley, coming from the driver broadcaster perspective, I really expected more guys to be running the bottom because that's kind of your more traditional line here when it comes to Michigan and these cars. But I'm very surprised more guys are running the top of the racetrack here tonight.
We will pause for 10 seconds of radio identification. I promise you that's not changed. This is CRN, the Community Radio Network. The imposter race for Michigan continues.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Welcome back. 32 of 100 laps. Quickly approaching halfway here at Virtual Michigan. I'm Wesley Outland. Jason Rockefeller is alongside. Charles Wooten is on production. And right now, everything clean and green. And I believe, Jason, we are about to start to see the cycle of green flag pit stops as well.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I mean, these tires are just hurting, absolutely hurting. You look at the leader, Dan West Jr., a fast lap for him was a 39.2. Now we're running 40.9, so we're almost 2 seconds in worth of fallout. Here comes Jeff Stabnow. He'll sacrifice his position, come down to the pit lane. Everybody going to be taking tires here pretty soon. Question is, what are you going to do? You going to undercut it like Jeff Stabnow, Chris White, Chris Kynes are? Or are you going to be like Dan West Jr., wait until one of those guys inside the top 5 pit, try to undercut you, and then you come to pit road? We'll have to see. Strategy's going to vary.
Go for the undercut. I like that strategy. Right now, Chris White on pit road. Hunter Performance Motorsports, number 30 of Ron Hunter's wrap job, but it is Christopher White race off pit road as well as they come storming to the line. Here comes Dan West Jr., man, driving that Joshua Marcy car, and son Devin right there, one behind the other, and that Stefano hair machine, Jason. They're coming to their pit stalls. They're pitting father-son teammates here on lap 34.
Father-son duo into the pits this time. You see Dan West, or that being Devin West. He's going to take 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles there in that Stefano Hare number 41. He'll take those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. Virtual tire change, puts it back on. They're away, and it looks like his father is actually going to get out just a little bit ahead of him here, coming off pit road this time.
There you go, father. beating Sun off pit road, making it work. And yes, here comes Toby Ritters. Clifford on pit road, driving the boss man's car tonight. Not wanting to, but the wrap job is making it happen at 00. Normally 23 in his pit stall. Perfectly, Jason. He's taking on 4 tires and fuel, and everyone else is coming in behind him on pit road too.
Yeah, you see James Vining, the Catman. He's on pit road this time by as well. So is Troy Daggett, Frank Harris, a couple other guys as well joining them on pit road. Like I talked about, though, question's going to be who is going to be the driver that plays the strategy just perfect right now. Still a few drivers to go here. We've had a little bit more than half the field pit. Still looking to see Sean Brightsman, Brett Johnson, BJ Tidrick, Ron Hunter coming to the pits, as long as Tyler Kim, John Ottenbacher. Those are the guys who have not pitted just yet.
And by the way, Kevin Smith pitted on lap number 12. He has now moved up to 9th. Gotta wonder if this strategy, Jason, might be in favor of the Walla Walla Washington driver, because he is shooting up the scoring pylon, and we know those drivers ahead of him are gonna have to pit soon.
Oh yeah, definitely, more than likely. And obviously Kevin Smith can stay out just a little bit longer because he decided to come to lap 12 and pit. So he's going to get passed here probably pretty soon by some of these guys behind him, like Dan West Jr., who's only 4 seconds back from Kevin. So Kevin's going to pit soon, but he's probably going to pit in about less than 10 laps or so. That's when you're going to see him pit. I'd say maybe give it about 15 at most. Here comes John Ottenbacher in his actual number 89 machine. He'll roll into his box. A little bit hot. Has to reverse it slightly. Going to be a slight mistake. No harm, no foul, though. He's going to take on 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles here, though.
Did they turn my CRN logos into green?
Uh-oh. That's not nice.
I'm looking at this, and I'm like, our traditional colors are blue, and they put green on the car. There's a red one out there, too, I believe, on Stabnow's car. I believe it is, yeah. Well, not tonight. Jeff Stabnow's actually Ray Fournier, I believe, driving the imposter car. So, anyhow, green flag pit stops ongoing. Yes, I got it right. Hey, we're catching on, Jason.
We're getting there. I think it's going to still take a little bit. Oh, Sean Brightsman hot into the pits. And whoa, oh my goodness, nearly catastrophe there coming onto pit road for the race leader of, or not the race leader, but the points leader of Sean Brightsman. I tell you what, too, I'm noticing something, Wesley, is some of these cars, like I saw the Toyota Supra for some of these guys, looked a little wonky. And it looked like the Camaro there of Sean Brightsman, the front nose, you can kind of see something right where the headlights are supposed to be, where the stickers are, the decals. They're kind of wonky as well, so definitely a big issue for these things. Hopefully it doesn't happen to us next week.
Green flag pit stops happening there as you see Ron Hunter coming in the white machine. Here comes Brett Johnson in the Ray Fournier car. Cycling around now to 2 more cars that need to pit, including BJ Tidrick and Tyler Kim, who have yet to pit. Brett Johnson is pitting now. Kevin Smith just had Dan West Jr. get around him, Jason. Dan West Jr., it might cycle back around as the new leader, and it's because they're in a heavy battle of traffic going into the corner.
Yeah, and here goes Kevin Smith. He's way up the track, of course, obviously pitted on lap 12, so he's going to have to, pit here probably pretty soon. Here comes BJ Tidrick. He's going to give up that race lead. Next will probably be Tyler Kim within the next lap or so, and Dan West Jr. is going to maintain that race lead. Once everything does, in fact, cycle around, they are back by 11 seconds currently to BJ Tidrick on pit road. 10 seconds back from the leader now. So Tyler Kim, any moment, should be pitting here soon.
Yep, and when Tyler Kim pits, that will put it back in front for Dan West Jr. and Devin West, and then Kevin Smith, who again pitted on lap number 12, off sequence with all these other cars, will be in third. And I would be honest, Jason, I would say you probably, I don't know if how further Kevin can stretch it compared to these other cars. I'm thinking maybe lap 50. Well, correction, that might be an understatement. Maybe lap 60, and we're going to have to see Dan West Jr. We're going to have to see Kevin Smith come into the pits.
You know what I think is going to happen? This is what I think is going to happen. I think because Kevin Smith pitted so early, he's going to try to make this pretty much a two-stop race here. He's going to try to wait it out, obviously, until he's right on the number. Going to come into the pits. He's going to pit. Yes, he's losing a little bit of track time, but he's going to be all the way good to the end because these cars can probably last just about more than likely. You're looking at about 40 laps of fuel here. So probably going to try to wait it out a little bit. No, he won't this time by. He's coming into the pit. So maybe a three-stop strategy then here for the driver of the 00.
I just think he was so far out of sequence and he knew that it wasn't going to work strategy-wise. I think he was praying that the caution flag would come out, Jason, and that just did not happen for that driver of the number 00. And Kevin Smith will bring his car primer machine onto the pit lane for pit stop number 2. Want to hit his pit stall perfectly, squilling the tires on brakes entering, and perfect. There goes James Vining driving the Band-Aid Michael Waltrip throwback. Jason, you remember that car back in the Busch Series?
Oh, yeah. Remember that car, obviously. I wasn't exactly around for it yet, but I've seen many photos of it. I've seen that car absolutely take off at Daytona back early on in Michael's career. Later on, towards the back half of his career, took a really nasty tumble at Daytona right out of the tri-oval.
Yep.
I've seen that clip quite a few times, like most clips I have because of the geek I am. But hey, it's always a good scheme, always good colors here. And you think to yourself, Band-Aid, man. When I think of Band-Aid, I think of that usual tan Band-Aid color you always put on yourself. But man, back then, they made these cars look so dang colorful. Look at that thing. It's the Band-Aid car. How can you not like it?
Mama, I cut my finger. Get a Band-Aid. No, Michael Waltrip went barrel rolling in the triangle at Daytona with the Band-Aid car. Ken Schrader had his share of flips, but he's still a talented driver. Hey, he won a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact. Ken Schrader won a race that he won an ARCA or the Pinty Series race.
Yep,
up in Canada.
Yep,
yeah,
and very impressive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not listening to you. He's talking about Ken Schrader. He's talking about Elliott Sadler. He's talking about anybody that's been in the M&M's car flipping. So, yeah.
I think
they're magically delicious. Wait a minute. They melt in your mouth, not in your hand.
Yeah, the magically delicious. I was going to say Lucky Charm. What?
Yeah, but, I'm sorry. Hey, the cars are backwards. I'm backwards, okay?
I think we're all backwards. It's also 12:09 Eastern Standard Time right now, so we're kind of tired, I can imagine. But hey, nevertheless, so this race, I'm surprised so far we've gone green all the way now. We're approaching the halfway mark. I mean, I guess you could say, we've already kind of started to separate our competitors from our back markers, you could say, in this race in particular. Obviously, the question being, will Kevin Smith's strategy play out? But, it's the Wests, just like it was back at Gateway. I mean, they're fast. They were really good here in the Gen 4 series for the Fun League just a few weeks ago. Here they are, 1-2 tonight, and just some great runs by some of these guys like Chad Malik, Frank Harris, Toby Ritter's all inside that top 11.
Yeah, doing really, really well right now. Again, on the racetrack, all of this going on again as you are checking it out in 4K Ultra HD if you can. I know I am. That's 2160p 60 video coverage. By the way, that is on YouTube. Perfect quality right now. Watching it on the big screen TV. Watching Chad Malik in the Carl Burton car work his way around the racetrack. Right now, Dan West Jr., Devin West, Marcy O'Hare, top 5 with Newton. We are coming up on the cross flags in this race here tonight. 200 miles. 100 laps, and believe it or not, we are already 100 miles into this race, Jason, and caution-free so far. What a job it has been by all of these guys. Green flag pit stops, strategy definitely I don't think these drivers were thinking would happen this evening.
Yeah, and remember, we still have about one more pit stop to go, so there's still going to be some strategy playing in here. So you're going to see Dan West Jr. take the halfway signal coming to 50 laps to go, 50 completed, 50 to go this time by coming up. You look at Stephen O'Hare and his correct number there. Paul Newton to the inside, going to battle him. They're going to be side by side this time off turns 3 and 4. Jeff Stab now right behind them, or that could be Ray Fournier. Maybe we'll have to see. I am not too sure. Yeah, no, it's definitely not Ray Fournier. There's Jeff Stab now. He's driving Paul Newton's car, but in front of him, he's seeing his own car, that being driven by Ray Fournier, who's a lap down.
Now, all this going on now is, again, working lap 50, halfway home in this race. Let's give you your full field rundown right now. Still 50 laps into it. Dan West Jr., the leader. Devin West, son, in second. Joshua Marcy would have run for him. He's in third. Paul Newton, fourth. Stephen O'Hare, the top 5. Jeff Stab now is sixth. Christopher White, seventh. Ryan Bloom, eighth. Chad Malik in ninth. And Frank Harris, currently your top 10. By the way, 4 Chevrolets, 4 Fords, 2 Toyotas, Jason, in the top 10.
Yeah, very, very stout and strong top 10, no doubt about it. But then you go to the top 20, Toby Ritters, Clifford, P11 right there. And then you have 12th, James Vining. Nice run for him. BJ Tidrick, 13th. Brett Johnson, 14th. You have 15th is Roy Grande Jr., 16th, Dan Lowther. 17th is Chris Kynes. 18th, John Ottenbacher. 19th, Kevin Smith. Will his strategy work out? We'll have to see. 20th, Ray Fournier there in the number 26.
21st is Tyler King. Sean Brightsman, 22nd. That hiccup on pit road on lap 39 really hurt him. He's in 22nd. 23rd is Tyler Kim. Last car on the lead lap in the 23rd spot. Then it's Ron Hunter. If a caution was to come out, he would get the wave around, or the free pass, excuse me. Troy Daggett is 25th. Carl Burke, 13 laps down. Russ Lumberg, Scott Hutchinson did not start the race. And by the way, real quickly, I know we haven't had a caution summary yet, but it is always presented by Virginia811.com, reminding you to call before you dig. No cautions, no caution laps. 52 laps at green full speed. About to put lap 53 on the board. And Jason, 9 lead changes, and a lot of those happened during green flag pit stop cycles.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about it. So far, though, like we've talked about, it's been all the West father and son duo up at the front. Maybe somebody could sneak in something, whether it be a podium, a top 2, or a win. Time will tell. We will have to find out. But these guys have been absolutely flying here tonight. But that lead is kind of dwindling down. Kevin West trying to reel in his dad right now. Only 0.3 of a second back from that lead.
So there is a look at the full field rundown. The West family still continuing to lead the way. Chad Malik, there you see him now, right now in the 10th position, trying to climb into the top 10. As right now, right behind him is Toby Ritters. Ritters driving the 00 car, normally driven by Kevin Smith. If you're just joining us, the names and the numbers are cattywampus because someone earlier this afternoon hacked iRacing and the Trading Paints, and they just hacked Trading Paints. My apologies. They didn't hack iRacing. They'd have called National Security if that would have happened. But Trading Paints was hacked, and unfortunately they got it fixed, but right now they're working on trying to remedy it and fix it back to 100%. We're going to go side by side. You do not miss a thing. We're back in a moment. For those tuned in on CRN, we'll thank our sponsors as well. Lap 55, 45 to go. So far, caution free at Michigan. We return in a moment.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
About to approach lap number 60 here at the virtual Michigan Speedway. Welcome to round 12 of the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. Last time the series was in action on May the 24th, just before Memorial Day. And then we had the Fun Leagues with the GT3 cars and the Next Gen Fun cars and more. And now we settle ourselves in for the final 4 races, Jason, of the regular season. Jason Rockefeller is alongside. I'm Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten is on production. Jason, a very calm race here with 40 to go this time by the line.
Yeah, coming to 40 to go. It's been all the Wests up at the front, starting to heat up a little bit. Devin West is slowly closing that gap in to his dad there. It's 0.3 of a second. So this is kind of like deja vu for them for what the Gen 4 Fun League was just a handful of weeks ago during our off season here. Or not off season, I should say, but our mid-season break. Summer break, yeah, exactly. For the Northwest
Yeah, we really
CLICKIT
never
RV
took
Fixed
off.
Series. Yeah, it's so, I mean, we never really took off. It's just the Fixed Series with CLICKIT RV sponsorship was taking off, obviously, but now with more seat time, vacation time, whatever you want to call it there, for their usual Wednesday nights. They're back in action. We're here. Only a few races to go before the playoffs. Things are starting to heat up, having to get back into the rhythm of things. So everybody just kind of using that learning curve that they were taking advantage of. Oh, whoa, Devin West sideways off turn number 2. Able to save it. Saw a puff of smoke come for the left rear. Boy, oh boy, was he dirt tracking it, similar to Race on Texas coverage. That was very, very interesting there coming off turn number 2.
Wow. What a save there for that driver to keep it alive. And now Ryan Bloom is on pit road. Money stop time, possibly. Ryan Bloom coming in the number 18 spot. So is also Roy Grande Jr. Oh, we'll see what this strategy will be. Jason trying to go for the undercut, but they have been mired all in the back tonight anyway.
Yeah, been a tough race here for some of these guys, mainly at the back, obviously, but who knows? We still have pit stops to go. Here comes Dan Lowther in that number 63 machine. He'll come down this time into the pits to take service for Fresh Goodyear Eagles, some Sunoco Racing fuel, slowly approaching the pit road here this time. And now the question's going to be is who's going to pit there up at the front first? Who's going to try the undercut, take advantage? Oh, and Dan Lowther slides past his pit box a little bit, gets past the line. He'll go to work on that number 63 machine. But again, who out of that top 5 is going to pit first, try to get the undercut for those fresh Goodyears?
Dan Lowther on pit road, In-N-Out Burger Machine, wrap job normally driven by BJ Tidrick. He's normally in the 63. He is down and away. As right now we're watching green flag pit stops cycle around for the second time. By the way, leaders, last time they pitted, lap 34, Dan and Devin, father-son West, at the same time. We are approaching that window. 35, 40 laps, they're going to be pitting again. And I believe when they make this transition around lap 70 to come to the pits, lap 75, I think for everybody, Jason, this will be the run to the finish as long as we don't get a yellow flag. These guys right now looking to make that final green flag pit stop to take it to the finish.
And we'll have to see what in fact does happen. We've seen it so many times in the world of motorsports where it's been a long, strung out green flag run, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, caution will come out with 2 laps to go. Still a possibility. Here comes LSRTV's own Jeff Stabnow making his way, I should say, down to pit road, sacrificing one of the top 5 spots, was running 5th. So now, Wesley, that door is open. He's going to try the undercut. Will he be able to do it? We're going to have to see. Oh, O'Hare overshoots his box. Going to cost him a little bit of time, but all those drivers go to work on pit road.
Jeff Stabnow hit his pit box perfectly. A flawless pit stop. 4 tires and fuel. Squilling tires off on pit road for Jeff Stabnow, but for Stephen O'Hare, he overshot his pit box. Here comes more green flag pit stops. Lap 66. Here comes now Scott Hutchinson coming down on pit road. Paul Newton's car actually in the Scott Hutchinson paint job, wrap job. I knew I was going to do that, Charles.
Oh boy. Here comes BJ Tidrick. He's in this time. Lots of guys now starting to pit. Finally, ever since that first few group of cars came down a couple laps ago, Wesley, everybody now wants to try and take their shot at 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. The question, like I said, just going to be who's going to pit? When are they going to pit? We'll have to find out here shortly.
Chad Malik on pit road driving the Carlberg 53 color. On the exit, Frank Harris driving the Devin West car, number 5. Tonight, he's actually in the 11. Pit stops ongoing. If you're watching and you're like, this is the movie out of the Twilight Zone, iRacing, no. Somebody hacked Trading Paints today. They got it back. Oh, but they almost, Frank Harris overshot his pit box almost. And anyhow, someone hacked Trading Paints, and obviously, Jason, I think they got it back. The owners got it back, but they're just having problems and trying to make sure it's working properly again. Hopefully by Monday night for the first playoff race. I believe it'll be at Richmond Raceway. That'll be a good one. We'll have the wrap job.
Oh, no! Oh, no! Devin West just overshot his box heading into the pits. Wow. That's a huge deal heading into the pit lane. He was way past his box.
Wow.
Had to reverse it. That's going to cost him valuable time. He was only 3/10 behind his dad. Now his dad's coming in this time by. Will Dan West Jr. be able to make no mistakes unlike his son just did? We'll have to find out right here.
Yeah, if we don't make a mistake here. It is marks. Dan West Jr. coming in. No doubt money stop with 30 laps to go. Did he make it? Yes. Had to back up just a smidge. Just a smidge, Jason. But he's all right. He's going to take on 4 tires and fuel. Here comes Brett Johnson on pit lane in the Ray Fournier car.
He'll come down, take 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles this time. Question's going to be, where will Dan West Jr. appear once he blends back onto the racetrack? Seems like he's gonna get there. Devin West is gonna take over that 5th spot right now as Josh Marcy comes down pit road from the race lead. Chris White as well. So when this all cycles back,
John Ottenbacher's going to have to pit. Kevin Smith, we'll see if he can make it all the way. But Devin West gets past his father.
Kevin Smith is now going to cycle around as the new leader. There he goes. A different strategy than anybody else. He's already pitted twice. And with 30 laps to go, hammer down for the Walla Walla Washington driver. Bold strategy. Right now, Kevin Smith, 18th in the points. Okay, 18th in the points. Out of 10 starts, 11 tonight, 4 poles, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s. And Jason, that is also, if you remember, because of those external network issue gremlins that plagued Kevin Smith in the first quarter of the season.
You mean his son changing the Wi-Fi router because he wanted to get a better Fortnite server? Yeah, it's been a really unfortunate season for Kevin Smith. Talked about it earlier. Got that top 3 at Gateway back in May. But other than that, I mean, only 2 top 10s, or should I say 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s. It's been a very, very miserable season, to say the least, for Kevin Smith. Just waiting for him to break through here in the CLICKIT RV Fixed Series. We'll have to see if he can do it. But, man, Devin West right on his heels currently heading into 1 and 2. You're going to see that machine close up really quickly. Now can Dan West Jr. take advantage possibly with Devin getting around him, but it looks like they're going to make quick work of him down the back straightaway. Devin West back out front at Michigan.
Suffice to say, Jason, Devin West and Dan West Jr., father, son, they are, Charles Wooten, the picks of the litter tonight. I know he hates it when I say that, but bottom line, the West family have been taking everybody else to school. And Kevin Smith is pitting. Kevin Smith is pitting. So whatever strategy he thought he had when he got bypassed, Jason, he knew he had to pit now. I think he's hoping a caution comes up.
Oh, yeah.
You're exactly right. We're thinking the same way.
No doubt about it. I think Kevin Smith, obviously, I don't know if there was an issue earlier on in the race for him to pit on lap 12 or what. Maybe we can get some clarification after the race. But, I mean, it's just he's been off sequence pretty much this entire race. And, I mean, there's nothing he can do about it unless he got a caution. And so far, he hasn't got one. Now he's hoping and praying up to the Lord above that he gets a caution. So we're going to have to see how it really plays out for him. But it hasn't been the best of nights, obviously, for the Walla Walla Washington native, obviously. Yeah, definitely something of a miss there on the 00 machine. But, hey, maybe his luck can turn around if he does, in fact, get a late race yellow.
We'll see how all of this shakes down to the stretch here. As right now, there's Sean Breitzman driving that Ottenbacher color on the 89. And he is right now in 11th. Right now, there you see Harris, Malik in front of him. 25 to go. Chad Malik up 16 spots, by the way, in that Toyota car. Driving the Carl Burke Legend throwback colors. 75 laps, Jason, and it has still been flag to flag, full speed racing. And I'll be honest, did you expect this, especially with these drivers having the issues not only with the wrap jobs, but also not racing with each other in almost 3 months?
Yeah, no, definitely not. Oh, and we got a battle for the lead here. Here comes Dan West Jr. to the inside of his son. What's he going to do? Will he slide up the track? They're going to stay side by side. But this has been an amazing race, to say the least. Surprisingly, we have had no cautions, like you said, Wesley. Definitely surprised me, no doubt about it. 3 wide for a moment. They'll keep it back to 2 as Kevin Smith is able to get his lap back. But definitely surprised, no doubt about it. No yellows so far that we're going to see. Oh, boy, it's getting dicey up at the front.
That's father and son playing bonsai with one another. Down in the corner. Oh, he just closed under the rear end of the car. Down to the bottom. He went for the crossover, the slider. This is Devin West and Dan West, and you see father, son. They don't care, Jason. They'll race each other hard. We see it all the time.
They raced each other hard back at Michigan a few weeks ago, and they're doing the exact same thing here tonight. And the more they race, the better opportunity it presents for drivers like Josh Marcy, Jeff Stabnow, and Paul Newton to try to catch them and make something happen. Josh Marcy only back by 4 seconds and 3/10. We'll have to see if he can make up any ground. Still faster than those two leaders right now with 22 to go.
Yeah. All of this going on as they work their way back out of the corner. Time running out, as we mentioned already. Approaching lap 80 and 20 to go, 22 to be exact. Because right now there's Paul Newton and Jeff Stabnow. Newton after Stabnow. Stabnow up the hill. Here comes Newton on the bottom. All of this going on for fifth. Jeff Stabnow, Jason, had a great run tonight.
It's been a great night for Jeff Stabnow, to say the least. Absolutely. But you look on board with Paul Newton from that passenger side here off turn number 2. Great angles being presented to you, and he's side by side now with Jeff Stabnow down the back straightaway. This is for the 4th position as they work their way into turn number 3. Paul Newton going to take away that spot and just slide up in front of Jeff Stabnow. Stabnow will pull the crossover back to the bottom, 21 to go.
Yeah, all this going on now as they work their way back to the tri-oval, and this is Stabnow and Newton going at it. Still right alongside Paul Newton, Jeff Stabnow battling for 4th and 5th. Best battle on the racetrack. Jeff Stabnow on the clear. Gets around him in his own car. Normally Paul Newton's in the 27, Jason, and Jeff Stabnow in that wrap job car, usually in the 24. Right now with 20 to go, just put himself in 4th.
He's trying the best he can right now to make the most out of this race here for Jeff Stabnow, putting him up to 4th. Will Paul Newton try something? Doesn't look like it now with 19 laps to go. And back at the front, Devin West has kind of lost touch with his dad a little bit by about 4/10. We'll see if he can close it up. Here comes Sean Breitzman with a late pit stop coming in this time by.
Boy, this is off the schedule for anyone else. Obviously, with 20 laps to go, Sean Breitzman, Jason, struggling tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really talked much about Sean Breitzman at all whatsoever, which is kind of odd because he practically dominated the Gen 4 series, and he's leading the points here. Heading into tonight, obviously, he's got 2 wins. It was back at Homestead and back at Mid-Ohio. 5 top 5s, 8 top 10s. He has a great amount of laps completed out of most of the drivers here. It's been a really good season so far for Sean Breitzman. Just, man, what a miss here tonight for the driver of the number 46.
A flying race at that as well, by the way. 17 laps to go. And we are just coming up on 57 and a half minutes on the sim time for this race. They have been flying tonight, Jason, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. With 17 laps to go, this race feels like it has flown by practically like this year and every year has, pretty much. You look at Brett Johnson having a great run, just shy of a top 10 currently in that 7 machine. He's battling with Toby Ritters on the inside, also having a solid run tonight in that 12th spot. And for Brett and Toby, they're looking to have great runs. BJ Tidrick there, all inside that top 13 running order. These are 3 drivers who ran some of those off-season races, also had, or should I say those break time races for the summer break. And it's been a fun time for those guys, but here they are, back to work. Toby Ritters, Brett Johnson.
On to Atlanta next Wednesday night for the second to last. I'm sorry, for the second of the final 4 races in the regular season is what I meant to say. And we'll have it for you, of course, same time. Don't forget Monday, Richmond Raceway. Jason, the playoffs for the trucks. What's your take of that series, man? I think that's going to be really fun to watch these guys and find out who's going to be the season 10 champion. I can't believe we're already talking playoffs.
Yeah, it feels like just yesterday we started at Daytona with some absolutely crazy races, from the Truck Series to the Xfinity Series, or should I say the CLICKIT RV Fixed Series. Both me, you, Terry Radford in the booth as well. It was a really interesting Speedway. It feels like it was just yesterday, man. And here we are now. I mean, we're closing in on the end of the season. I mean, I just can't believe, too. Same thing with real racing. Feels like the Daytona 500 was just yesterday. Feels like short track racing just started yesterday. And we're already approaching the off-season coming up here in just a handful of weeks for some tracks locally, and also, you know, for just in general. I mean, for us up here, we got end of the season coming up for October for Wall Stadium. Turkey Derby's right in November. It's right around the corner. The season's flown by.
Richmond, Michigan, Milwaukee Mile, Homestead. Your first 4 races in the round of 12. Drivers in the playoffs locked in, ready to go for that race. And, of course, that fires up next Monday night, September 11th. I'm sure Charles and I will get together. I don't know if Justin Prince is going to be with us or not. We might have somebody else. I don't know. But I know that it'll be 9/11, Jason, and I'm sure that me and Charles will come up with some kind of a special 9/11 tribute, obviously, while we have the race on Monday night for sure. Don't forget about 9/11.
Yeah, don't forget about it at all whatsoever. Me being born the day after it, I was just 1 day shy, you know, but it's unfortunately a really hard time for most people up here. I know, especially in my area, living right across the harbor from New York City. I can see the Freedom Tower, the newly built Freedom Tower, obviously. Yeah. Definitely a hard time for a lot of people around here. A lot of brave individuals that day. A lot of people lost their lives. And, you know, as we always say here in this country, never forget.
Never forget. Never forget, for sure. Thank you to our first responders, and I'm sure, again, we'll have a tribute for them next Monday night in round 1 of the playoffs at Richmond. All right, closing in on final dozen laps remaining, and nothing has changed, obviously, in the front between father and son, Dan West Jr. and Devin West. There's Ryan Bloom. Jason, he kind of lured in the back all night. Now he makes a climb into the top 10. He's in 9th as we move into lap 90.
Great job for Ryan Bloom. Great recovery here. I mean, he was back. Was in the middle of the race. This is a great recovery for Ryan Bloom. No doubt about it.
Watching all of this going on as we move into the home stretch of this event. Jason, you got a copy? Charles, you got a copy? I think we're having problems on Jason's end. Hopefully he can come back and join us before the finish of this event. Right now, Dan West Jr., Devin West, 1 and 2, Joshua Marcy in 3rd, Jeff Stabnow, Paul Newton, your top 5. Jason, you back, buddy? 10 to go.
You know, I should be back. I was speaking.
Yep.
About Chad Malik and Ryan Bloom, then all of a sudden I was gone. Don't know what happened, but hey, back to my point that nobody got to hear somehow. I mean, Chad Malik sitting in the 10th spot is doing really good right now, and he was just all over the back bumper of Ryan Bloom. I think Chad Malik might have something for Ryan Bloom here in the 9th spot.
And we'll see how all this transpires as it is 9 laps to go here at Michigan. Believe it or not, in the home stretch of this race, no single digits on the board now. As, of course, we watch Christopher White dive in there, 47 machine. He's right there in the top 10, battling with Stephen O'Hare. Trying to catch him, trying to catch Paul Newton. All these guys on the racetrack now as we approach 8 remaining. It's the West family. If they don't make a mistake, Jason, or they don't wreck themselves trying to win this race, it's going to be their race to win tonight, father-son.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Devin West is slowly starting to catch him a little bit, but not by much, really. I mean, he's back by 1.4 seconds. The gap's, like I said, closing slowly. I just think it's going to be too little too late here for Devin West to try to catch his dad. Whoa, in the wall. Chris White almost got to Stephen O'Hare. Stephen O'Hare up and into the wall there. What a save. That could have been a yellow right there. Something we haven't talked about all night. And that's the thing, Wesley. You get late in these races, everybody fighting for every position, every point, and you start having aggressive driving like this out of Stephen O'Hare, Chris White. We could see a late race yellow here.
Up into the safer barrier for that driver. And right now, let's watch Hunter and O'Hare. Oh, Stephen O'Hare now trying to find a way to get back as Chris White clears him. Watching patiently Frank Harris. 7 laps to go. This is probably the best battle on the racetrack. By the way, the interval for first and second with father-son West, 1.40 seconds. Oh, and by the way, Jason, Devin West, 3 wins this year. Dan West, none. He will get his first win of the season if he wins tonight. Right now, he's in the lead. Does it come with a closing 5 to go?
Devin West is trying everything he can do to try to catch his dad right now. 2 cars right behind them, separating them 1 lap down, obviously. But, I mean, it is what it is right now. Devin West has got 3 wins. Dan West Jr.'s got none. We'll have to see how bad Dan West Jr. wants it. He's just hoping and praying for no yellows here late in the race. That 55 machine has been very stout, strong all night. Same thing with his son goes.
Ready to go to the home stretch here, as we just mentioned, and the payout window is opening. 5 laps to go. Open hand from Barney, the iRacing flagman. Hopefully they didn't trade in paints his flags and make him be weird looking. 4 remaining when they come back around, and it is Dan West Jr. driving the Joshua Marcy Tennessee car 35 in front. That's Dan West Jr. And now we see some more cars fighting to get back on the lead lap. Jason Racing rolling on. 4 to go, and Devin West nowhere in sight around that.
Yeah, just still back by 1.5 seconds right now. Nothing he can really do unless Devin West somehow puts on the jets. Gains about 0.3 there heading into turn 1 and 2. But that was really all because of some lap traffic. Still some separating them from one another. But we'll have to see. 3 to go coming up this time. Anything goes.
There's Devin West, obviously, as we mentioned, in the O'Hare throwback, or the O'Hare wrap job car. Jeff Stabnow, got to give props to Jeff. Solid top 5 finish. He's in 4th. Jeff Stabnow with 1 win this season, obviously. He is in the top 10, Jason. He won back at Kansas in April. Good solid run for that driver tonight to look for another top 5 finish. That'll be now his, by the way, 2nd top 5 and 6th top 10 when the checker falls.
Yeah, great run for Jeff Stabnow. Lots of guys, though, too, having some great runs, obviously. Talked about Frank Harris up to 8th, Chad Malik up to 9th, Brett Johnson, BJ Tidrick, Toby Ritters. Some guys having some very strong runs here tonight, and I think probably, in my opinion, I think the guy who's been doing the best here tonight probably is Frank Harris in that number 8 or that number 11 machine. One of those guys coming into tonight. We call him the legend for a reason. Here he is right now, doing a really good job, sitting very, very pretty in that 8th place position.
Jason, I say it during the Monday Night Truck Series, and I'll say it tonight as well in regards to Frank Harris. It just seems, man, that in the last 2 months, that driver has just really improved, and improved he has on both levels. And I believe as they come to 2 to go here to the finish of this race, I think very soon we're going to be talking about Frank Harris being in the winner's circle. And the white flag is about to go in the air. 1 more lap to go for Dan West Jr. for a race that is only 1 hour and 8 minutes long. Final time, Jason Rockefeller looking for his first win of the year.
What a statement by the West family. They came to play here at Michigan. They did really good in the Gen 4 Fun Series a few weeks ago. Devin got the upper hand on Dad, but it looks like Dad's going to get the upper hand on his son tonight into 3 and 4 for the final time.
The raps might be different, but we know the name. The West family, father, son, come to the line. Dan West Jr., first win of the season after a 3-month break with the series. Flag to flag, caution free tonight at Michigan. Devin West will cross the line. He'll finish in second. Joshua Marcy is third. Jeff Stabnow, as we mentioned, with a solid top 5 finish. Man, oh man, what a comeback. And the West family will celebrate here tonight, though in different race cars, Jason Rockefeller. We know the name. And of course, the West family, watch out if they're firing on all virtual 8 cylinders on the road to the playoffs.
Great run by the West family tonight, no doubt about it. And Dan West Jr. definitely making a statement. After what we talked about, 1 point behind the cutoff line, this win definitely is going to solidify him making it into the playoffs possible. If he could just hold out for a couple more races, he should be sitting fine.
Dan West Jr. will burn it down here in virtual Michigan. We haven't had this one in a while. Get ready for the Northwest CLICKIT RV high five salute to the Bonsai T-Bone from Sun West to Daddy. Wow. I want to understand we got a new damage model on these cars. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. New damage model. Destruction, chaos, mayhem. Northwest high five salute. Check it out. Here he comes. Who are you going to crash?
Uh-oh. Paul Ziegler, whoever this is.
Somebody, anybody. I'll just wreck myself. That is Jeff Stabnow. Yes.
They're probably gonna come
He's looking for somebody.
Time, more likely. Somebody's on their lid. Right at the pit exit.
Somebody's on the pit retaining wall. And before we give you the results, I think we're going to see one more Bonsai Northwest high five salute crash by Jeff Stabnow. No, he's got to be happy. Top 5 finish tonight for the Kansas winner. And look at this. Who will it be? Who's going to be his B? Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Sean Brightsman
in the catch
teammates. Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
I love it. I love it. Well, results tonight from Michigan. Hey, we did the best we could. Hopefully everybody was entertained. Even though the wrap jobs were not the correct on the drivers, we did our best on, I think we did pretty good, Jason, keeping up with it. Dan West Jr. picks up the win. Thanks for the help of Charles Wooten also along the way, helping us and making sure we had all the correct information. Big props to him. Devin West second, almost a second and a half to father. Joshua Marcy third. Jeff Stabnow 10 seconds back in fourth, but a top 5 finish. Christopher White is fifth. Paul Newton, Stephen O'Hare, Frank Harris, Chad Malik, and Ryan Bloom. Jason, what a comeback. He finishes in the top 10.
Top 20, you got Brett Johnson right there in the 7. Great run for him. BJ Tidrick, Ritters, Vining, Kevin Smith. Strategy just didn't play out for him, sitting 15th. 16th goes to Lowther. 17th, Roy Grande. 18th, Sean Brightsman on a pretty honestly disappointing and miserable night for the points leader heading into tonight. 19th, Tyler Ken, somebody we did not talk about all night long, really surprisingly. And then top 20, Tyler Kim, 38.
Yeah, 21st, we'll find Chris Kynes, all multiple single laps down or more. Chris Kynes, 21st. Ray Fournier, 22nd. JohnOnnenbacher, 23rd. Ron Hunter, 24th. Troy Daggett, Carl Burke. And that's the rundown. Scott Hutchinson and Russ Lundberg did not take the green flag. Real quick, Virginia 811 caution summary, 0. 0 cautions, 0 caution laps, 100 laps flag to flag, green to the end, and 13 lead changes. Of course, big thanks to Brian Morehouse and all the great folks at Virginia811.com reminding you, call before you dig and dig with care. Coming up post-race, we'll grab the top 3. Father, son, Marcy, all on the way. Plus, let's real quickly pause for 10 seconds of network identification on CRN, the Community Radio Network. We'll grab the interviews when we come back from Michigan.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Hey, welcome back to coverage of the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. Glad to be back after almost 2 months, over 2.5 months during the summer break, having the fun leagues and more. I'm Wesley Outland, Jason Rockefeller alongside. Let's go to third place. Great work, by the way, with Charles Wooten on the production, as always, for Rocket Racing Media. Joshua Marcy, so your car's in victory lane, but it's not you. Hey, a top 3 podium, man. Good run for you tonight at Michigan.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we had a good strategy going. I just couldn't keep up with Dan and Devin. I don't know what they were doing, but man, I couldn't see them at the end of the race there. But they had a good run. It's always fun racing with those guys. I love doing it. They're really good and clean. So it was a fun night.
Josh, congratulations on coming home P3, man, and for 2-3 month, whatever you want to call it, hiatus. Obviously, since you guys have been back in the cars, how did it feel to be back in these Xfinity Series cars tonight, racing on such a high-speed track?
I felt really good. It was great to be back, and I did a couple of the fun races over the summer break, but it was good to be back in the Xfinity car, and I love these big tracks. These are the fun ones for me. I'm really excited for Atlanta next week.
Now I got to ask you this question, Josh. Were you seeing your car 35 running around the racetrack, or were you actually in the other person's car with the wrap job?
I actually was seeing Dan's car, so I was seeing his car. But yeah, I guess on the broadcast he was coming through as my car. So yeah, hopefully they can get that trading paints issue worked out.
Imposters, that's all I'm going to say. Hackers. So actually you were in your regular 35 car, basically.
Yep, I was in it.
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Segue this into thanking your sponsors. Big momentum boost to come back after almost 2 months and be competitive.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Bullify. I'd like to thank K&N Filters, and I'd like to thank Bowler Smart for supporting me. And I'd also like to thank Jonathan Byer Racing and John for spotting for me tonight. It was good to hear him back in my ear again. We always have a good time.
Joshua Marcy in the 35. He'll finish tonight in the number 3 position. Runner-up, 3 wins already this year since back in May. From Shelton, Washington, it is Devin West. And, of course, he was in the 41 car of Stephen O'Hare. But on track, you were in your car, Devin. Father, son, got to be special. I know your dad beat you by about a second and a half. But another solid run for you for sure on the run to the playoffs.
Yeah, not bad. I feel like I had decent speed. Also, Dad was the one that really kind of keep me in check. I wasn't far off him, but after 80 laps, green flag, that adds up, and so kind of slowly got away from me. And then early on the race, I got in the wall a little bit, got a few seconds of optional repair, and that was not helping me out one bit. So yeah, just kind of a long race. Wish I had a little more speed to at least battled that a little bit, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Congratulations, Devin, on finishing P2 tonight, man. But the one question I gotta say is,
Are you surprised we didn't have any more cautions? I mean, we had no cautions, even despite being away from these cars for so long. Does it surprise you that we didn't have any yellows?
Yeah, I mean, I know going into it, I was expecting like at least one or two. Once you get about 20 to 25 laps in, it gets so spread out, man, that it's pretty easy to just kind of, if everybody minds their own P's and Q's, you can kind of, make it around here pretty easy. It's really those early laps, everyone's kind of together and kind of pushing each other a little bit. One guy kind of gets over eager and causes an issue, but yeah, I mean, I wish there was a caution. Obviously, it would have been more fun, but it was still a fun race.
Devin, segue this into thanking your sponsors after this question. But, man, I'll tell you what a valiant effort that you made, especially after missing so many races because of work or racing-related things, to put yourself not only in the playoffs for the Truck Series on Monday night that fires up at Richmond on Monday, September 11th, this upcoming Monday, but also, for the most part, 3 wins on the year. You're in the top 12. You're doing what you need to do to make a run for the B Series playoffs. What a comeback for you. What do you attribute that for?
I just show up every week, right? I mean, I show up every week, and I do my best to be as fast as I can and just stay clean, really. I mean, if I can just stay clean, and I know I have the ability to at least be up front most of the time, right? So after a while, I get a win or two. I just had pure luck. But unfortunately, I'm not going to make it on the minimum race requirement for the win, so I'll have to race on my way in on points, which I think I'm also doing just fine on, so it's all good. The sponsors, obviously you guys on the booth, LSRTV, you guys are great. CLICKIT RV, helping out the series. It's obviously big help to Jeff and everybody. And then my sponsors, Kinetic Custom Hardwood, Effective Web Solutions, and Motorsports Distributing.
Always great catching up with the man that's got 3 wins this year. He might have to do it by points, but by virtue, I'm telling you, I think he's going to fight his way in for the round of 12. Of course, that is Devin West. Victory Lane, Dan West Jr., Dad from Shelton, Washington. Yes, okay, he was in a different car besides the one that normally is the 55. But Dan, first win this year, and obviously what a strong ride you had for the West family tonight at Michigan. Congrats, sir.
Thanks, Wesley. Yeah, it was. I love this track. I mean, and like Josh was saying, I like the bigger tracks like this, and it becomes kind of a cat and mouse of who's saving, right? I mean, we were wearing that right front tire down pretty good, so that's kind of what I was doing in the beginning with Ryan and Kevin, and just kind of let them go and then try to pace off of them. And that kind of leads me to, apology to Kevin. Like say Ryan got into the wall there, it checked him up, and I didn't see it. I couldn't see at the angle. I didn't see Ryan check up. And so I just, those guys are fast, stay in pace with them. And I come up off the corner, and then Kevin, boom, he checks up, moves the inside, and it kind of put me in the middle a little bit. And by the time I checked up, I'd gotten into Kevin, and you've seen the result of that. So unfortunate, because I felt like they would have been up there. So, but either way, it is what it is. Hopefully there's no hard feelings. We move on. Congrats to Devin and Josh. Joshua, obviously, when you see him out there running, he usually is right there in the top 5 each time. So it's nice to see him get a good finish.
And Dan, congratulations on the victory tonight at Michigan. Devin beat you a couple weeks ago in the Fun Series here. Now you get to beat him, so congratulations on that. But with that being said, man, you came into the points tonight 1 point out from that playoff cutoff line. It's got to feel pretty good knowing that you won here tonight. How do you expect your momentum going forward for the last few races before you head into the playoffs?
I think the momentum will continue. I just need to. You come around and get close to these playoffs, and that's when you start focusing, right? I mean, it seems like earlier in the season, you come to have fun. You come and look forward to hanging out with everybody, but now it's time for the grind. And when I find myself without a win and sitting down there and not even making the playoffs, it was like, okay, it's time to focus, time to work on your pit stops, because that's where I feel like I've really been lacking is my pit stops and taking myself out of races. So, I feel like we'll be good.
Final question, segue this to your sponsors, and we'll get off the air, Dan. How much practice have you been using on these cars to get you ready for this night tonight to be in Victory Lane? Obviously, because it has been over 2 months since we've raced with the series.
We jumped in last night and did the series practice that they had up, and that's about it. I mean, one thing about these cars, you don't have to build a set. You just kind of and they're pretty easy to drive in a sense. You're just trying to learn how to take care of the tires, and you know, for the most part, just the track is fairly easy to drive, so it's not too much, Wesley. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you're just having fun.
Sponsors, congrats, buddy.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to thank Effective Web Solutions, LSRTV, CRN, CLICKIT, RV. I appreciate everything they do, and thanks again, guys, for coming out.
So it's been over 2 months since the series fired back up. We're down to the final 4 races before the run of the playoffs. Dan West Jr. gets his first win of the season. Devin West, Josh Amarcy, top 3. Josh, Jason, always fun working with you, bud. I know we had some technical issues with the wraps on the cars, but it was still an entertaining race. Your final take on things, bud?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to going to Legacy Atlanta here next, man. That track's so fun for me. I got on the iRacing platform back in 2021, right when Atlanta week was basically starting right after Daytona. So that was my first full week on iRacing where I got to study a track. So I felt like I knew Atlanta probably better than most tracks, surprisingly. I got a few wins there, some fixed stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these cars handle next week there.
Going to be a fun time for sure. For Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, everybody at Rocket Racing Media, for Jason Rockefeller, this is Wesley Outland. Good night from Michigan. We'll see you for the playoffs at Richmond.